All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Global Awakening Seminar. Today, we're going to cover a wide range of topics, but I'm just going to get right into it. You can follow me at Great Fuego on Instagram or Midnight Sun Podcast on YouTube. So what the fuck is going on today? Well, first, let's start about the manufactured coin shortage. So I don't know if you guys have been to Walmart or Sam's Club or fucking BJ's, anywhere. They basically won't let you check out with cash unless it's exact change. As they've been told, there's a quote unquote coin shortage. So I'm gonna just pull up this link here as proof. US is facing a corn shortage and it's forcing the Federal Reserve to take an unusual step of rationing its distribution. So when I heard of this, I was like, oh shit, yeah, there's a coin shortage. And then I started looking more into it, and I'm realizing it's just the government trying to push for the end goal, which is the digital widespread currency. And just to prove to you guys that a coin shortage isn't actually happening, let me pull up some YouTube evidence.
I'm going to prove that to you. So with no further ado, let the lying begin.
George. Hey, Shari, this really giving new meaning to that saying, the cash is king argument. Now, the Fed has attributed this shortage to the pandemic. There is less circulation and less production at the U.S. Mint.
Okay, there you see it on local ABC News in Philadelphia. They're generically blaming circulation, which really isn't helpful, doesn't advance the analysis, merely restates the problem. And they're blaming the U.S. Mint. You know, it's too bad they have a mint there right in Philadelphia. The news could have asked the mint there in Philadelphia whether the mint was in fact the problem, and found out that the mint isn't the problem, as we know from this video released by the U.S. Mint 1 week ago.
Hi, I'm Dave Ryder, Director of the United States Mint. I have the distinct privilege of leading the employees who are manufacturing our nation's coins. I want to assure you that the men and women of the Mint workforce are working as hard as they possibly can to get newly produced coins into the economy. In fact, we are on track to mint more coins this year than we have produced in almost 20 years.
Okay.
All right, definitely not the Mint. Let's see what else he has to say.
Okay, as you just saw, the Mint is on track to produce the most coins it's produced in the last 20 years. The Mint is not the problem. ABC is the problem. It simply lies.
That?
Now, ABC...
When was that footage?
Yeah, when did he say that?
Like at the beginning of this month, literally at the start of the quote coin shortage.
Yeah, that is such bullshit.
All right, now here we go. Watch him expose the second excuse the news uses.
ABC is not the only one to blame circulation. The Federal Reserve Chairman himself, Powell, also blames circulation, although to his credit, he is a bit more specific. But to the extent he is a bit more specific, he is also utterly ridiculous. Let's watch this clip.
What's happened is that with the partial closure of the economy, the flow of coins through the economy has gotten it's kind of stopped. The places where you go to give your coins and get credit at the store, get cash, folding money, those have not been working. Stores have been closed. So the whole system of flow has come to a stop. We're well aware of this.
Okay, there you have it. The chairman of the Federal Reserve is telling us that not only is it the problem that the stores are closed, which is totally absurd, wouldn't be a coin problem at all if the stores are just closed. The whole problem is the stores are open and they don't have coins. So that's ridiculous. And the other excuse he blames is the coin kiosk machine. You know those places you go, you dump buckets of your coins in the grocery store to get store credit and, did I get that right, Foul? Folding money? That's what you call cash? What is that slang from like 1927? Anyway, those are Powell's fall guys. That's who's causing the coin problem, is the coin kiosks. So let's now go to one of the CEOs of the largest coin kiosk in the U.S. and see whether Powell's story adds up.
And now let's bring in Jim Gaharity. He is the CEO of Coinstar. Mr. Gaharity, it's great to have you here. And man, what a story. So basically what's happened? No one's coming to your kiosks?
Well, that's not it at all.
All right. Well, thank God those coin kiosks are still working.
All right, I'm just going to cut it short here because we don't need to watch the whole video. But basically what's going on is it's not because the stores are closed. It's not because it's reduced circulation. It's not the U.S. Mint. It's the Federal Reserve, and they're artificially creating a coin shortage. So I'm going to move on. I just want to emphasize the fact that the quote Federal Reserve is privately owned. It's not actually a public company. And why would the Fed want this coin shortage? Well, sovereignty within our own government is one way to say it. So if you look at the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve, they'll list coins as an asset and their banknotes, which is cash, as a liability. So essentially what's going on is they don't actually own the coins. The coins are owned by the US Treasury. And so by artificially creating a coin shortage, they can get power over the Treasury and force them out essentially, because as the Fed gets more powerful. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about the California and Washington wildfires. Pretty much what's going on here is the West Coast is on fire, undoubtedly. I mean, that's a fact, and they're spreading rapidly. And a lot of people were saying that Antifa arsonists were causing the fires, which is true, and they were caught. And Snopes and other PolitiFact websites, they're very quick to dismiss that Antifa had anything to do with these wildfires, as these fact-checking websites definitely have an agenda. So I did a little bit of research after seeing this Snopes rating here, and it didn't take me long to realize that an Antifa arsonist was arrested in Tacoma, Washington, after live streaming himself set fire to the national forest. And here they have the police report of this guy. This is his live stream here. This is all his weapons. Clearly Antifa, right? And they have a police report here. It says uniform fire code violation. So he was setting shit on fire. And
You know what city it was in?
in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, Tacoma.
Yeah. So he was like live streaming himself.
Oh, with the S1000R? Is that what you got?
Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, so I did some more research into Snopes, and I was like, all right, well, Snopes is clearly wrong there, and PolitiFact. So let me just like see what the fuck's going on with Snopes. So I did a little research, and this is what's going on pretty much. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to 1756. But you'll realize that Snopes and PolitiFact, these are not companies to be trusted with, and especially ones to be making clear what we know is fact and what's not. It's really not the case. They all have an agenda. So I'm going to skip this forward here, and we can kind of uncover what's going on. If it will load. Let me refresh this real quick.
Now let's take a look at a few of the most commonly used fact checkers, beginning with Snopes. The husband and wife duo of David and Barbara Mickelson founded Snopes.com in 1995. They had no journalism background or training whatsoever. They built their fact-checking empire by using Google as their primary verifying source. The Mickelsons divorced in 2015. Barbara sued David for embezzling money that he allegedly spent on prostitutes, as well as a lavish honeymoon with his new wife, who worked as an escort in Las Vegas before joining the Snopes cast of characters. In 2017, David Mickelson's new business partners filed a lawsuit accusing Mickelson of multiple counts of fraud and embezzlement. Snopes proclaims to be the internet's go-to source for discerning what is true and what is total nonsense. Yet one glance at their history of fact-free checking tells another story. When Dr. Mikovits claimed she was arrested without a warrant and jailed without a charge, Snopes rated her statement false.
All right, that's basically the gist. They go into like a specific example there referring to the documentary. But Snopes, it's a total shit show. The original co-founders sued each other. One of them hired prostitutes for $98,000. He's embezzling money. When new owners came in, the old owner tried to embezzle money again. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they use Google as their primary search source to verify everything, which doesn't make any sense. And also saw this article here. It says Facebook is going to use Snopes to fact check and bury fake news stories. So that's pretty fucking ridiculous considering Snopes is a shit show run by like two people, and a platform as big as Facebook is gonna use that to fact check everything on their website. All right, moving on. So a recent article, Bill Gates' father just died, which is, that it is what it is, right? His father died, it's sad, whatever. But the quote is from Bill Gates: "He was everything I was trying to be." And if you start to uncover Bill Gates Sr.'s past, things get a little bit sketchy when you put this quote into context. He was everything I was trying to be. So let's take a look. Let's take a look into his father's past. His father sat on the board of Planned Parenthood. So let's look at this. Fertility rates dropping. Basically, oh yeah, okay. So I don't have any links here specifically because everything I was trying to look at for Bill Gates Sr. was either blocked or removed. So I was pulling up tweets that were removed by Twitter, YouTube videos that were blocked. But pretty much his father was one of the co-founders of Planned Parenthood. And I do have something else here. It says his father, I don't know, somewhere in, oh yeah, right here. Bill Gates' father chaired the board of Planned Parenthood during its infancy, and it was no secret that a eugenics program against colored people. You wonder why Planned Parenthood facilities sit right, right outside of black neighborhoods. So this is just a few other articles. It was making me think, why? What up, Josh? Basically, it's making me think, why?
Hey, buddy.
What's up? Why is Bill Gates doing all this with his vaccines? If he wants to be just like his father, a co-founder of Planned Parenthood, I don't think we should have someone in charge of our vaccine program in the United States who wants to be just like his father, a co-founder of Planned Parenthood. And already, as we can see, fertility rates are crashing across the entire world. No one really knows why. There's no actual explanation for it.
Abortions.
Well, it's fertility rates, so it's just like, can people get pregnant or not?
Oh, not just having kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are having like trouble being pregnant, and no one really understands why.
Damn.
Now we're going to take a look at an article I came across. Africa has become testing ground for trust stamp vaccine record and payment system. So this is pretty much otherwise known as the ID 2020 Alliance. This is the official website. But what they're doing is like getting digital IDs to you, and so they can start tracking everyone. And Bill Gates is working on developing a new tattoo ID. So you'll basically get an invisible ink tattoo in order to check if you've had a vaccination or not, which is real sketch. Not against vaccinations, but number one, I'm sure as hell not going to be getting this vaccine coming up in the fall, and I will probably not get another vaccine for a long time unless it's I need to travel somewhere. Let's go to the next one. This is just a few statements about Bill Gates. I'm just going to read the highlighted ones, but everything on here is true and you can research it. Yeah, so Bill Gates held Event 201 in October 2019, simulating a coronavirus pandemic, seemingly 30 days prior to the coronavirus pandemic. and that event was sponsored by Johns Hopkins. It is real weird when they held this event simulating a pandemic seemingly months before the actual pandemic hit. It was almost like they knew. Bill Gates is on the Epstein flight log. No one really seems to care about that. Obviously, his father was on Planned Parenthood. He was sued and tried criminally in Africa and India for crimes against humanity by way of forced vaccinations, which caused severe side effects and death. So, like this article right here, it says Africa is to become testing ground. It's Africa because it once was India at one point, and then the Indian Health Board and Ministry kicked Mr. Gates. He kicked the Melinda and Gates Foundation out of India for paralyzing over 50,000 kids as a testing ground for his vaccines. Bill Gates is a bad man. And then here, I'm just going to go to the next slide. We're going to switch things up a little bit. Recently, Joe Rogan offered to moderate a debate between Trump and Biden. I thought that would be a pretty cool idea. Other media outlets were quick to call Joe Rogan misogynistic, racist, and homophobic after his offer to moderate the debate, which is pretty ironic because he's actually a Bernie Sanders supporter. Joe Rogan just made it clear on his podcast that he's not going to vote for someone that's mentally deranged and in an early state of dementia. He has no problem with Democrats, and he is one himself. He just said he'd rather vote for Trump than someone who has dementia. And obviously right here you can see Trump saying he would love to go on the podcast. And I think it's a great idea. It'd be way better than a normal debate, in my opinion, a normal, like, typical Fox News or MSNBC debate, because the candidates would actually have time to speak. And we know Joe Rogan is about as middle of the road as you can get. I mean, that's why he's so popular. Everyone loves him because he's like pretty much bipartisan on most issues. And then other people like Stephen Colbert, Late Show hosts, were trying to outdo Joe Rogan's offer to moderate Trump. So he wanted to have his own debate. I don't really think that's a great idea, considering him, John Oliver, Trevor Noah, all the Late Show hosts are literally scripted in what they have to say, and they're not funny. They're really not. So I wouldn't want to have him moderate the debate. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. That's the end of the road. You guys have anything to add?
I have a question about the coin shortage.
Yeah.
Is there an actual study on the shortage?
I haven't seen any studies, no.
All right.
It's a good question, though. I mean, I should probably pull one up. It is kind of weird.
What vaccine was Bill Gates working in India?
I'm pretty sure it was a form of the polio vaccine, but I can look it up. But yeah. Anything you guys want to talk about in particular?
Where do you get the Epstein flight log? Because I want to read it.
I have the unredacted one. I can share it with you after this.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Epstein's his case in the news on 60 Minutes, and it's obvious that it wasn't suicide by the
it's just not a rope or
yeah, by the width of the lacerations on his neck. But my question is, like, where is this gonna go? That's my question.
It's obviously not suicide, right? So, like, who's going to be investigating it and what's going to happen? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like, are we gonna, or is this just murdered? Can't do anything.
I really don't know. I would like to see an investigation.
Isn't Epstein's wife being like charged right now or like going to court? Heard something about that like a month ago.
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna hear much about it because things in the news about heat up.
I think the problems that are coming, as far as whatever the second wave goes, digital currencies, December 21st, 2020, the problems that are facing us are going to far outshadow Ghislaine Maxwell.
Also, we're like, is there a coin shortage? There is a massive grain and chicken shortage as well. There's a large food shortage that hasn't affected us yet, and
Yeah.
that the slow of production in March during the pandemic, like that hasn't hit us yet. Like that problem hasn't affected us yet. So it's only a matter. So it takes kind of a month. It's like a delay right when it gets colder, and right when the election comes, we're gonna have a massive food shortage.
Yeah, we are.
This
And
country's ever gonna
you know
see
what's
it.
fucking crazy is all of the farms in California were mandated they be shut down by the government for fears of spreading the coronavirus. So literally there's no food supply coming out of California, and the wildfires, I mean, this is just a guess, but I'm sure the wildfires are fucking things up even more over there as well.
Also, there's gonna be a food shortage worldwide because, believe it or not, this is crazy. Because in China, locusts have like eaten all the fields, and then a flood came and just wiped out all their food. Like,
yeah, China's having historic.
Sounds like something out of the Bible.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Coming, dude.
It sounds like Revelation.
Yeah, Revelations. I don't know, because I watched a pastor Revelations, and he says like, we're not the first generation to think that we're in Revelations, because he said the people in World War II thought they're in people during the Revelations, and so did the people in World War One. But the only thing that this period stands out, like that makes it more relevant or could be Revelations, is the social structure of our society.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. There is no like I'm not trying to sound like a Bible thumper, but sin and just degeneracy runs rampant and it's also not only is it tolerated, it is promoted, which is worse. Because I think toleration is okay, but the promotion of it is worse. You know,
the hypersexualization culture.
Yeah, like for example, let's talk about cuties. That's all over. Like since we're on the topic of degeneracy, like that movie Cuties, that says it all right there.
Why is that trending? That's what I want to know.
Because it's pushed by Netflix.
Exactly.
It's art. It's freedom. No, it's not. No,
yeah, some of the scenes in that movie are so bad.
What'd you say?
There's gonna be so many crazy freaks when we're older. Like imagine like what we're surrounded now, and just kind of like our peers. Like just imagine what it's gonna be like when we're older.
Pedophilia just got reduced in Italy. They
Yeah,
just reduced that. It's not like it's not a criminal offense anymore or anything.
California
shaping the future. This is like,
yeah, they reduced the age in California.
For what?
For
look, have you guys seen and look have you seen pictures of San Francisco in the past week? Like it's dystopian. It's crazy. Like it's red. It's like fire and brimstone is about to come from the heavens, dude. It's insane.
So is this leading up to something or is it a distraction?
Yeah.
It's definitely leading up to something.
Is it? Well, I don't know. I think we're all distracted from something that's going on somewhere else in the world.
Oh, definitely. Or not of this world also. As far as like aliens go, I don't know if you guys saw that that UFO footage in New Jersey. Did you guys see that?
Is it yeah, it's probably in there.
I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen real quick. This is basically what it was, and
But everybody's.
so you see that UFO right there.
But like, how do you like? I feel
that's
like
actually a blimp. It's a blimp. It was not a UFO. So like, hella people pulled over on the side of the road because they all thought like it was a UFO and they had finally landed, and then people figured out it was a blimp.
Mass hysteria.
But yeah, if this is how people like start to react, I mean, if you really think about it, what's the one way to achieve a one world government?
Aliens.
Well, yeah, it has to be.
You're gonna see one leader, dude.
Well,
that's
in
what.
simpler terms, it's to have people embrace it, and for them to embrace it, it's to combine together against one big threat, which is artificial in my opinion. Could be aliens.
Yeah, I feel like
but the thing is, when the aliens come, it's going to be a cooperation between the world elite and the aliens, because aliens have been in contact with humans, and especially in modern history since 1909. Phil Schneider exposed that, and look what happened to him. He got killed, and he said that.
Who is Phil Schneider again?
What?
Who was Phil Schneider?
Phil Schneider was an engineer with a Class 3 security clearance, worked on Area 51 S1. And he worked for the Black Projects. He built countless underground bases. He said that there's 1,400 in the world total, 331, I believe, in America alone. And they said that it harbors alien races and alien technology.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Did he say where they were?
He said he was, believe it or not, on his last, you guys have to watch his entire speech. It's incredible.
Was this in Area 51? He's talking about technology that's in.
Yeah, Area 51, but Area 51's, he calls it a mega base, but there's bases all across underneath us as we speak with alien races and aliens. And he says that they're purely telekinetic beings with synthetic bodies.
So artificial bodies.
Yeah.
We got pretty distracted from Area 51.
Yeah, remember that whole thing last year, the Naruto runners?
Yeah.
All that shit.
I mean, the aliens is the most well-kept secret in the world, because it's so everyone just denies it automatically. They're like, oh, aliens, right?
It's outlandish.
Yeah, that was designed on purpose.
Yeah, and even if someone is like, yeah, aliens is real, everyone's be like, no.
Nowadays, it's so accepted that aliens are real. We just haven't seen them yet.
Nowadays the Pentagon is releasing them. My dad knows pilots at Oceana that have seen them.
Oh shit!
And my dad talked to him, this one pilot, and he said that he tried to chase this one down, and he literally got outrun immediately. He said he was closing in on it at full throttle, and his jet was like specced out to the max.
Any description from the parents?
Was it like a disc?
Do you know who David Fravor is?
No.
He went on Joe Rogan and basically exposed like exactly what I'm talking about. But you know that one bit of UFO footage, and I'll pull it up here to show you. But it's basically like the footage within the plane's crosshairs. I got it right here.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna share my screen. So this is it right here.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, he said that.
You would think that they would. You would think that they would have better pictures.
Dude, wait.
What's up?
Wait, hold on.
You remember that? Is that the same photo you showed us a while ago?
Or the Pentagon released that.
The Pentagon released, and
that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, and the guy said that the guy said that they have much clearer footage and multiple videos extending beyond 10-20 minutes, but they are not released.
Wait, is that the photo? Like you said there was like remember that famous photo you showed us?
The Dark Knight satellite.
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull that up.
The Dark Knight satellite.
You know, we should be worried about, like, not worried, but we should be skeptical because I feel like they're leading up to an alien false flag because of what was in the news yesterday with them finding life on Venus.
But
Or
Franklin,
possible life.
Franklin, do you
yeah.
remember that day at the boardwalk?
Oh yeah,
remember,
dude, that shit
remember
was
the day
crazy.
at the boardwalk? But look at that look at the photo. If you look at that photo, dude, doesn't like
Did it
does
look
not,
like something you saw?
literally looks almost like that.
Are you serious?
Identical, dude.
From
Three
a-
of them
from
in
a-
the distance in the
Like
horizon.
on it, like maybe on its like side or like, hold on.
That's wild, dude. My friend said that he saw one at the boardwalk.
But
too,
like there were so
over the
many of
ocean.
them. It was like so off in the distance, and then they cleared the horizon so quickly. I've never seen anything like it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they were out of there.
Dude, how crazy would it be if we're like actually interfacing with these aliens and then they false flag an alien attack? So they're like controlling everything that's going on, right? The elites, like the one world government, they false flag an alien attack, but then the aliens are actually real behind it.
Oh shit. But that if you're using that logic, then at the same time they're controlling everything that led up to this conversation.
Yeah,
And they
all
planned us
everything.
to talk about this.
Of course.
Well, I don't know about that.
Franklin, look, it's on its side. Look, come on. Doesn't that like look like
people to wake up? They want people to wake up so they can have an enemy to target. And blood. Because
the aliens is a weird one, bro. It really is.
Because if we're gonna view this on a spiritual level, and these are demons that are influencing our leaders, demons only want one thing, and that's blood and souls.
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
What?
His speech, he brings up adrenochrome.
The which speech? Okay.
It looks like we lost Franklin there. Franklin, your internet sucks. Your internet sucks, bro.
Get new internet, buddy.
What did you say? Which
my
speech?
internet's ass. Phil Schneider's. You guys gotta watch that.
Is there like a documentary
insane.
too?
It has to be.
Where's
It's
the
him
video?
But I'll send it and I'll put it in the chat. But it's a guy at a pro gun expo talking about funny shit I've ever seen, honestly.
Franklin, I have no clue what you just said, man. Try going on off your hotspot.
Yeah, so I'm trying.
All right, go back to your house internet.
So I'm trying. I'll put the Phil Schneider video in the
put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I put the consent thing in there too.
Okay.
They're changing like the statutory rape rules in California.
To like softening them or what?
Yeah, so like it depends on like what kind of penetration it was, and it's really weird.
That's are we gonna talk about December 21st, or still all gonna lead up to it?
No, we're gonna talk about
that's a very lengthy topic.
Oh yeah, that might even be a different Zoom.
I gotta research more. I gotta get notes for that. That's like a whole episode right there.
Okay.
I'm just curious what y'all think if it doesn't happen.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Not in this.
Is this
timeline.
going on your channel?
Yeah.
Where's this going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I found a different angle of the Dark Knight satellite, and it looks like one of those little ships from Star Wars.
It also looks like an airplane.
But it like looks like what I saw.
It looks like Yoda is like riding one of these little starships.
Dude, it looks like a Boeing jet. Just saying.
It could be, but apparently the USA and USSR have shown great interest in this object. They don't know what it is. And apparently Nikola Tesla intercepted the satellite signal from this.
The fuck? Does he have?
It's been
Where are those
around.
notes?
Dude, Nikola Tesla's like fucking insane.
I know.
How smart he was.
And the thing is, you don't hear about him very much.
You really
No,
don't.
You don't.
You hear
'cause-
Thomas Edison more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thomas Edison ripped off Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, he did. It's crazy.
Do you know who got Tesla's notes?
Yeah.
John Trump.
Trump's uncle.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't think he's a time traveler, but it's some cool lore.
I agree with you on that. But it's fucking crazy. It's incredible.
Yeah.
To transition into talking about do you know what planet Nibiru is?
Planet Nibiru. No, is that the planet that's like outside the solar system?
All right, so I got some crazy fucking footage to show you guys. And it's unexplainable. Like it really is. Like the UFO thing, yeah, that was explainable, right?
Yeah.
This really is not explainable. So check this out.
Hidden heavenly body right mouthing that either a brown dwarf star or a out of our solar system.
I'm out here in September, and as you can see, there's obviously a really very clear planet that is right north.
Okay, you see the sun?
Yeah.
And you see a planet, right? Okay, now anyone logical would say, oh yeah, that's the moon, whatever, right? Now watch this.
Of the sun. And wow, I would love to say it was the moon, but since the moon happens to be right here on the opposite side, there's no way it is.
Space. Okay. In my eyes, that's like completely unexplainable. You guys have any thoughts about that?
I mean, usually the first stars that are out at night are Venus or Mars, but that's way too big for those planets.
Way too big.
It's way too bright to be Venus or Mars.
It's not a lens flare or anything. That's definitely there. You can see the clouds covering it up slightly.
But that that reminds me of an old prophecy from Babylon where they talk about every couple thousand years there's a cosmic cycle where multiple stars are in the sky, like bright stars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what brings your confidence? Like, why is that real? Is that real?
Because it brings into the December 21st.
But I'm saying why is it like, how do we know it's not photoshopped?
Yeah, true.
I mean, you don't technically, but
I'm just saying.
I'm just using like my logical brain here, considering like a 50-year-old woman was videoing this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like very unlikely that it would be. But granted, I mean, no one else had a video of this. This is the only video. It looks very real to me. And as like me being a video editor, I have like keen eye for like picking up on like certain things, whether it comes like motion tracking or like color grading or shading or whatnot. And like that looks pretty legit to me, along with like the compression of the video.
Mm-hmm.
But basically that can be tied into the December 21st theory of all the planets aligning, which they do once out of every 6,000 years. So it is pretty damn interesting.
And if the thing is, we're from this earth, and we're like when it comes to stuff like this, we're like the birds. We sense differences in the world around us, and we might not notice it.
Yeah, subconsciously, Yeah,
I mean, our subconscious picks things up.
Humans are designed to see the electromagnetic spectrum, and I'm not sure if this is exactly right. It's just an estimate, but I think we can see roughly 10 to 20% of the electromagnetic spectrum. So that leaves like 80% of the spectrum that we can't see, which could very well reveal all life around us, whether it be like interdimensional beings or whatnot. But also humans are like we notice when something is off in this world, and it is built into our DNA. It's like we will subconsciously notice it.
Check out that image. That might explain the planet thing.
I see it. Venus looks
I remember
pretty big
seeing
there.
Planet Nibiru, but it also isn't it called Planet X too?
Yeah, it's called Planet X. That
Yo,
could explain it.
there's no comparison to the sun, but
I've never seen Venus or Jupiter that big for that matter. Though.
this out.
yeah.
What'd you say? Franklin, what'd you say?
My
shit.
fuck.
You're good now.
I'm trying
You're
to
good now.
send. You ever heard of asteroid Nemesis?
No.
Alright. So it's a asteroid that's gonna come by Earth in 2050, but the thing is, it is super hollow. They don't know what it is. It's not an asteroid, but they call it an asteroid. And it's super hollow. It's empty in the inside, and they're guessing that it's like a old dwarf star, like that's dying. It's like passing through, and it's good energy. And it's gonna be a large gravitation difference that's gonna pull Earth's rotation differently. It's gonna affect us. Like,
it's gonna hit Earth or no?
Researched into. I kind of like skimmed it, but like it's really
Maybe
weird.
it could be like an old mining planet that aliens used. Like they mined out the
wait,
core and didn't use the surface.
Let me get the physics. Let me get like the numbers.
Imagine if you picked up like an alien ore, dude. They just chilling there.
Dude,
I
seriously.
wonder what it would be. I wonder what it would feel like to look at an alien. You know, like you just look at something that's just
that you've
not
never
of this world. Dude.
Yeah.
It must be like too surreal. You know.
Maybe we're looking at them all the time. We just can't see them because they're in a different dimension.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Also, my theory about grays, the gray aliens, is that the gray aliens, our planet is too far away for anyone to reach. It would take light years, right?
Yeah.
So what the gray aliens are doing is they figured out how to travel here interdimensionally. And so they're interfacing with humans interdimensionally. Like when you take certain substances, it'll like put you on that spectrum where you can see them, or adrenochrome or what have you. But so those grays are here interdimensionally, right? And then the grays actually exist on our Earth are the ones that are walking around are just simply synthetic robots that are controlled by the grays back at home.
Or maybe they ran out of that substance and they weren't able to stay in that dimension for any longer, and they got stuck here in the third dimension.
And they manifested their physical form.
Yeah.
That's some next level shit.
This is my question though. Where does the Anunnaki theory fit in? Are aliens the same as angels?
The Anunnaki?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the word alien and demon can be interchangeable. But as far as the Anunnaki go, that's like almost a completely different religion. People are saying that Egyptians were like interfacing with the Anunnaki. You have like all the different the separate races of like human, the Hyperborean, the Aryan, everything like that. I can pull it up here.
Look at the architectural structure of all these ancient civilizations. They all build ziggurats.
Yep. It's all the same structure, and
yeah,
there's actually the one piece of evidence that convinces me the most that they were connected was that Egyptians had weed, and weed is only grown in South America.
Interesting.
It's naturally formed in South America.
Have you ever heard the theory that Egyptians had light bulbs?
Yeah, they had batteries. They found a thing that had zinc and copper, and there was some kind of chemical that acted as like a
going backwards,
as an acid-based thing. Yeah, I know, not forward.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They all kind of built the same structures as well.
Dude, when it comes to ancient studies, dude, we're missing so much.
Oh, there's so much.
There's so much,
and there's a lot of these ancient studies will actually explain what's going on today.
Yeah. I wonder what was lost. Do you think that knowledge was taken out, or do you think it was lost over time? Or do you think the occult kind of absorbed it and didn't share it?
Well, we know
A combination of everything. I don't know.
like libraries were burned in the Roman age and stuff, but even before that, I think the information has just been controlled and then it just dwindled out. That's my theory. Like the most valuable information.
Yeah. Have you guys read the Book of Enoch?
No.
What's that?
It's a Bible. It's a
in
book
the Bible, right?
It's a book in the Bible that was taken out. It's directly after Genesis, and it's they found it in a cave by the Dead Sea, and it was right next to Genesis and all these big gospel stories in the Old Testament, and it was an entire manuscript of Enoch in ancient Aramaic, and it talks about a man named Enoch who was taken to heaven, not ascended. He was taken to heaven, then he was taken to hell, and then he communicated with God directly, and he got visions from heaven, and he predicted every single sequence in the Bible, starting with not obviously this is after Genesis, but starting with Abraham's promise, David, then the flood, Noah, and then Jesus, and then Revelations.
Damn.
All in exact order, perfect. It just nailed it. And this was like 400 years before all of those events played out. And he starts talking about Nephilim, which are so he gets really in deep with angelic history, and he talks about, so there's these beings from heaven called the Watchers, where God sent them down here to moderate his creation. And these demons, or angels, should I say, they got too, and they started having sex with our woman, and they created a half angelic, half human race, according to the Book of Enoch, called Nephilim, and they were a lot stronger, a lot smarter than the average human, and they were the kings of
I've heard about that.
And this is why this could be, and they lived centuries, and they were considered gods, and this is why, could be why, in the Babylonian kings list, the first 4 kings were 100-year reigns with the same person. And that could be an explanation. And also,
wait, how's that possible?
What?
How's that possible?
What do you mean?
He reigned for 400 years?
Yeah, if you look at the Babylonian kings list, it goes like 4 kings for like 400 years, like hundreds of years. And then it goes to like the 5th king or something, and it says this is the first human king, and he lasted 68 years and 23 or something.
Holy shit!
Yeah, because
so, like they were interfacing with someone, or they were already supernatural?
They had direct communication with things, like
okay.
direct. And they were, and maybe this is where our consciousness stemmed from, is from angelic connections. But and as our seed kind of spreads out and that's lost, and that's when Revelations comes, and it saves the ones who believed in God and whatnot.
Damn.
But yeah, Enoch got visions from the beginning about the end, and he predicted Revelations, and it's crazy. Like, you guys got to read it. Like, that's a crazy ass book.
I do need to read that. I need you to steer me in the right direction, what I should read. But yeah, that's incredible.
Oh, I just got this book. This just came in today. It's The Republic by Plato, and I'm excited to read it.
I heard Plato was a pedophile.
Really? I honestly would not doubt it. The Greeks were weird. There was this one philosopher. Yeah, there was this one philosopher. His name was Diogenes, and he masturbated in public and said, why not?
Wow, that's incredible.
Well, those are the origins of democracy. So
yeah.
Yo, so I haven't watched this documentary yet, but I watched a trailer, and it's called Eat the Sun. And pretty much, if the documentary follows these people around that sun gaze, they like to stare at the sun and directly into the sun for anywhere from 2 minutes to 30 minutes a day. And they followed this one guy around. that he said he's so proficient at it and so good he does not eat food anymore.
What?
So they followed him around for like years, and he said, if you pay me $1 billion, I would not eat food. He doesn't eat food. He simply stares at the sun, and he said that's how I get my energy.
I kind of don't believe that, but that's crazy.
And they tested it on a bunch of other people. This one dude got 9 to 10 times stronger.
So
different people do it for different reasons.
What's the documentary?
Do you have a link?
I want to watch that.
It's called Eat the Sun. I will link it to you guys after this. But pretty much, it's sun gazing or staring at the sun is an ancient tradition. It's an ancient practice that was done in thousands of cultures. That was kind of lost throughout the years. But I think the Aztecs were like a big proprietor of it. The Egyptians all did it. And it's kind of been lost now because there's warnings that you'll burn your corneas out or your retinas or whatever. But it's like really, really interesting. And if that's true, it's ridiculous because you think about the food that we eat is simply processed sunlight. And as far as I know, humans can't photosynthesize, but this guy is able to, I guess, by staring at the sun for like 30 minutes a day. And they did an MRI scan on him, and they didn't notice anything different with his brain. The only thing they noticed was that he had an enlarged pineal gland.
That's the DMT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's the DMT one.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's the one that the Egyptians had. That's
the eye of Horus.
Yeah.
Eye of Horus.
You think he's superhuman then?
I don't know. I think it's being replicated. Like with
Do you all think superhumans exist?
No, but Franklin, think about this. So if this event happens in December 21st and they have a solar flare or whatnot, I wonder, and it's supposed to unlock your DNA, right? I wonder if sun gazing is just a little piece of what the solar flare would actually bring.
For sure.
Damn.
I mean, I do stare in the sky. I don't stare in the sun, but I do stare in the sky.
Yeah.
I wonder if that
I think it takes practice. Like if you just go out and do it, you're gonna fuck up your
just stare in the
You gotta know where to look. You probably have to stare at like a certain portion of the ring around the sun.
Yeah. And it's really interesting to me how this like wraps into food, because today we all eat meat and like processed food, GMO, whatnot. But the most enlightened people, like they just say that when they don't eat, they feel better.
Yeah.
And the other most enlightened people, they're like vegetarians. They don't. So like the people that are eating less food are like more spiritually enlightened. I guess you can't really measure that, but like you can kind of tell.
Well, maybe
monks go on fast for 100 days. Sorry, what'd you say?
Maybe meat has more heavy metals, and that's why.
Definitely more modern meat does, for sure, because of all the processing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love a good steak, though. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
Also, let's talk about like all the
the
estrogen in processed foods is off the charts too.
Soy.
Like soy and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's destroying masculinity.
Soy boy.
And the push for no GMOs, even though GMOs are one of the most useful things we've ever come up with.
I'm not opposed to GMO at all, but I would prefer natural food, and that's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
Although I feel like GMOs can be strategically implemented to help our agricultural system for sure.
Or other countries like Africa.
Oh yeah. Especially if there's like a food shortage or whatever.
Yeah. The thing is, we don't use it though.
GMO weed, they're good for you.
I don't think GMO weed's good. I don't think people's tolerances should be getting so high on weed where you need like GMO weed and an electronic dab rig to get fucking high. Like that just shouldn't. You shouldn't need that. If you need that, you're smoking way too much.
Weed being weed being legalized is starting to make me feel like it's definitely malevolent, dude. Like it's not.
Oh yeah, for
No
votes
bueno.
for sure. Like Northam
For
doing it.
votes,
It's
and
definitely for
also
votes.
think what it does. Yeah, and also think what it does to a culture, dude. If everyone becomes a pothead.
Yeah.
Well, I think the government
around, eat chips all day.
The government finally realized how much money they were losing by
Yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah,
They were
honestly,
doing
I think
that.
you should be allowed to.
You should be allowed to, but it shouldn't be promoted. The stoner lifestyle is not. This is coming from someone who used to have the stoner lifestyle. It is not good for you. It's really not.
I think the
Mentally,
decriminalization,
spiritually, not good for you.
I think the decriminalization is the best way to go about it. Northam's plan,
Yeah.
I think, was the best way to go about dealing with weed, because like you
If
should
you
be
want
allowed
to
to do
destroy your
it.
dopamine receptors, go ahead.
Yeah, and if you want to do it and you want to carry it around while you're driving or something, then definitely you should have to pay a small fine, because you can possibly put other people in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think people should be serving fucking
forget that it's a.
sentences. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, and also with, dude, fake dab pens, like those shits are so bad for you.
I know.
So bad, dude. My friend from the Queens, he was smoking these like fake dab pens, and he pissed out blue shit.
Yeah, that's not right.
Like it was like zinc in it, and he just pissed out blue piss. And I was
That's
like,
sketchy.
yeah, like who knows? People trust drugs too much, so
yeah.